Jeselnik's got a new special. It's called Bones and All. Let's take a look and see what we can learn. It's on Netflix. Link below. Go and watch it there. I've talked about Jeselnik a couple of times on this channel because the way that he works is pretty unique. And that uniqueness makes it a little easier to see the way that a great joke is written. So maybe regular people like you and me can get a little bit closer to his ability. He's also one of the few who is publicly disagreeing with the Roganite anti-woke approach to comedy. At least that's what I thought he was doing. Let me show you what I mean. First, I want to say thank you to the patrons who support this channel. I don't have corporate sponsors. I just have regular people. Now, if you'd like to jump on too, I'd love to have you. I just released a joke writing motivation series called the 30-Day Joke Garden, free for patrons. And you can also support me by watching my films and buying my books. Links to everything below. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. A few weeks ago, I posted this video where Jeselnik is talking to Theo Von about what it means to get away with a joke. Jeselnik's point mirrors what I've been saying on this channel all along, which is comedians want to say cruel or outlandish things, get paid for the attention that saying those things creates, maybe get invited on Rogan or your mom's house to say more slurs, but then ignore or evade all the pushback they get for saying those slurs. And Jeselnik's point is, if you're getting that much backlash, you didn't get away with it. Getting away with it is when you say outlandish stuff, but the crowd comes with you. It's been his goal all along to get the crowd to come with him down some wild, dark paths and enjoy the ride. And he's right, it's a very different thing to do that than to go out on stage, yell offensive street jokes, and then when everyone's pissed at you, cry, "Everyone's too woke!" As I touched on in the Quantum Jeselnik video, I think the difference is craft. Jeselnik displays craft. Yelling street jokes does not. At the same time, in this special, Jeselnik kinda has the issue both ways. He begins the special with a series of trans jokes and then, later on, makes fun of people doing the cruelty profiteering dance for the express purpose of getting in good with Rogan.
As a comedian, I've got a responsibility. The responsibility to get up in front of a group of strangers and give you my opinion on the trans community. Look, guys, you've got to do it now. It's in the handbook.
Now, making a self-aware meta trans joke is still a trans joke. It's still otherizing people who don't deserve it. And let's think about the order. He leads with this one. The joke about comedians pandering to Rogan is at about 37 minutes in.
I'm against cancel culture. Thank you. That's my impression of a shit comic trying to get on Rogan.
What I like about Jeselnik, as I've said many times, is the way that he reaches so much deeper than other comedians. And sure, this trans chunk has a lot more polish than you'll hear from almost anyone else, but it's still doing what they all do. It's almost as if Jeselnik thinks that he needs to pander to the Roganites up top in the special, but then claws back some self-respect later in the show by making fun of people who think Rogan's podcast is good.
But if you listen to his podcast, you're a fucking loser.
But he's kind of making fun of them for doing what he's kind of doing. I mean, maybe he thinks Rogan is only going to watch the first 10 minutes max, so he doesn't need to pander any longer than that. I don't know if this is really happening, but I guessed at a similar phenomenon when Michelle Wolf's latest series had her big trans joke in the first episode, and then got a lot more progressive as episodes went on. It could just be coincidence, but as I said then, and am repeating now, if it happens over and over, there's a reason. I could see a guy like Jeselnik watching every other comic do trans jokes and thinking to himself, you know, when it comes to bad taste, these guys are amateurs. I'll show these idiots how a pro does bad taste. But at the same time, in my view, he's still falling into line by doing a trans joke at all. Even if you say, as part of the joke, sorry guys, I have to do this. He really doesn't have to do this. He's a grown-ass man. Let me ask you guys something. What's more powerful? Showing everyone else how you stand on your own, or showing people using crutches how much better you are at crutches? It is wild to me to see stand-up comedy, which I thought was a supremely contrarian art, becoming so homogenized. Jeselnik's still a great joke writer. He still has his singular style of talking very slowly and deliberately, as I've outlined before. Still a pro's pro in terms of delivery, but also apparently complaining about the way everyone jumps in line for Rogan and sliding into line right next to him.
Comedians are supposed to be unparalleled badasses. I know this because I have a fucking mirror.
I agree, comedians are supposed to be unparalleled badasses, but I'm not seeing a lot of that at the pro level at the moment. Still a Jeselnik fan. Looking forward to the next one.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and maybe jump on the Patreon if you want to help me make more. And if you want to talk about comedy writing with people who are trying to do it in a constructive way, we also have a Discord channel.